Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020 with Newcastle United. It is January 2027, we're on the 23rd of January. Today, we are up against Bolton Wanderers in the FA Cup. That should be a really simple victory. And then West Ham later on in this episode as the main event in the Premier League. Also, being January, the transfer window is open. So, what we're going to do, we're going to summarise the fixtures that took place before January the 1st, then go through the transfers, and then the fixtures that took place after. So, 3 matches took place before the January transfer window opened. First up was a match at home against Wolverhampton Wanderers. It was a 1-0 victory. Franco Di Matteo with the only goal of the game. Then on Boxing Day, we were clearly all still hungover, full up with all the food and everything from Christmas, and got battered by Spurs 5-0. And Ndombele, Wanderless, Kane, Ali, and Nemanja Desnica? Sure, that guy. We got battered. Then against Liverpool, a match that I was expecting to get battered in, we drew 2-2. Munoz and Lopez Bays with the goals here. We actually ended the season not particularly well. Not the season, the year. We ended the calendar year not particularly well. January the 1st then, obviously the transfer window swung wide open and some transfer business took place. The window is still open, so there is the opportunity for more players to leave and join the club. First up, Moez Abcha obviously leaving the club, as we've mentioned, signing for LASK for nearly £8 million. I'm not sure whether selling him was a good idea because he started to suddenly turn up and play really good football, scoring a couple of goals as well. 5 games he played for us, scoring just twice, leaving, going to Austria. Another player to leave the club is English central defender and left-back. Guess he's mainly a left-back here apparently. Johnny Panzo signing for Aston Villa for nearly £8 million. He hasn't really played consistently for us since the 2023-2024 season, playing sporadically, getting the odd game here or there, but it's basically time for us to cash in. He was getting a bit annoyed as well. And the big one to leave the club is 24-year-old Danish defender, midfielder, whatever you want to call him, Matthias Jakobsen, signing for West Ham. We picked up £40 million for him. We probably could have got more, but I came to the conclusion that we weren't really playing him. If we look, the last couple of seasons, or not last season or this season, he's played 11 games, but he wasn't really anything special. And I've kind of decided to cash in on him whilst we can. Didn't realise there was a 50% sell-on in there to Copenhagen. So, yeah, we only got 20 million of it. But still, it's better than nothing. I'm kind of sad to see Matthias go because he was obviously a very good player for us. Probably could have got more money for him. But I think we've got better players now coming through our youth system. Not our youth system, you know what I mean. We've got good players that I've signed from elsewhere. Our youth system, so far, hasn't really produced a huge amount, apart from Marlon Charles. 3 players have joined the club, no fancy graphics for any of them because they're all basically youth players. Anderson Vazquez is a 21-year-old Colombian goalkeeper from Cúcuta Deportivo, signing for £500,000. There you go, not a huge amount of money. He's already played once for us in the FA Cup, keeping a clean sheet, not himself a clean sheet, kept a clean sheet. He looks decent, 2.5-star current ability, apparently has no more potential though, so maybe he's not the best signing. Next up is Serge Bolly, the 19-year-old Ivorian right winger who has immediately gone out on loan to Montreal Impact. I believe once again he's already played 1 game for us in the FA Cup and then has gone out on loan. 2-star current ability, I think he only had 3, maybe 3.5-star potential ability. I'm thinking maybe getting some first team football over in Canada might help him out quite a bit. He's joined for £220,000. And finally, a player who I thought was younger than what he was, Daniel Garcia, a 22-year-old Ecuadorian central midfielder. I thought he was like 19 when we signed him. He's not. He's a bit older than that. Signed from Barcelona, Ecuador, immediately gone back out on loan back to Ecuador as well, to Liga de Quito. He has cost us £600,000 and the board were not happy because obviously he's not as young as I first thought. 2-star current ability. I think he's got 2.5-star potential ability. We're definitely going to make a loss on Daniel Garcia. A couple of other bits as well. John Thomas has gone out on loan to Altrincham. Jordan Ormerod, who was out on loan at Luton, if I'm not mistaken, has been recalled with the intention of me playing him, and then he's gone back out on loan to MK Dons. Some things have also happened that aren't necessarily new signings, but they're as good as new signings. Eduardo Romero, the guy who was out on loan at Colorado, has returned from his loan deal. He has been registered for the squad, so expect him to get a few games. Bad boy Bobby Mills, who was out on loan at Bolton, who we are going to be playing in today's episode, has also been recalled from his loan because he's a right winger. We don't have right wingers. The bad boy Bobby Mills, who on his debut in the Carabao Cup final or FA Cup final, one of them, got himself sent off He got himself sent off on his debut in the Carabao Cup final, hence why he's called Bad Boy Bobby Mills, has returned, and he's wanted. He's not going anywhere. He will be here until the end of the season and probably get a decent amount of football behind him. Another player to return from a loan deal from the MLS is Gregory Bernal. The 21-year-old Chilean striker has returned. He's going to be probably playing a decent amount of football for us coming off the bench up until the end of the season, and then we'll probably loan him out again in the summer. And the one that I'm most excited about, returning from Sevilla in Spain, is Carlos Restrepo, now 21 years of age, spent half a season on loan in Spain. He's returned to the club. He's normally a left-back. He will be retraining to be a Carrilero. I think he's got the bits to do this role as a Carrilero, still only 21 years of age as well. Carlos Restrepo will probably play a decent amount of football for us between now and the end of the season, partially because Matthias Jakobsen has left. He's going to fill that gap. So yeah, that is so far what's happened in the transfer window. A lot has gone on. We need to jump into this Bolton game, otherwise this episode's going to be half an hour long. As it is an FA Cup game against a side that we should probably batter, we have gone for a very rotated side. In goal will be Wang, a back four of Solomon, Maguire, Munoz and Henriks. You've never heard of Solomon. This is Solomon. He's from Eritrea. He's not very good, but he's a left back. That's why he's playing. Guendouzi will be the deep line playmaker with Jamie Shackleton and Carlos Restrepo in the middle of the pitch. Christ Chole is going to be playing as a left winger today. Mateo Lopez-Bays on the right hand side. And Bernal will be our striker. 21 minutes in and we finally got the first highlight. Henriks with the ball. What is going on with this camera angle? What is happening here? Behind goal? Let's sort that out. Let's put that to director. There we go. Guendouzi with the ball. Plays it back to Munoz. Munoz over the top on the right-hand side. Benjamin Henriks can collect it. Is he going to cross it? And he does. Chayuli is there on the head. The Ivorians' effort is wide of the post. Approaching half-time, we've got our second highlight of the game. Tate with a great tackle, but Bernal collects it. The Chilean can run forward with the ball. Slowly goes for goal. Mitchell can hold on to it. We are not doing massively well. Half-time then, it is 0-0 against League One Bolton, so we're going to give them an assertive. I'm far from pleased. We do have a strong subs bench, so maybe we look at that. Chayole off for Fite Arp, he can play on that left wing. Restrepo off as well for Lewis Cook. Move you two to there. That will do. Well, the second half has been awful, hasn't it? Absolutely awful. This is the Bolton team that we should be beating. We've had no highlights so far. 12 minutes left to play. We've finally got another highlight. It is Lopez-Bays and Henriks tackling themselves, apparently. Bernal's going to collect it. Now Guendouzi. Lopez-Bays into the area. Is he going to go for goal? He does go for goal. Mitchell can easily hold on to it. This is going to be a 0-0 draw, and we're going to have a replay against Bolton. This is not good. We're going to go attacking. We're going to do... we've got 4 minutes. We've got 4 minutes. Fite Arp's come on and got a 6.5. What is going on? Lopez-Bays is coming off. Johnny Santos is going to come on as a right winger for the last 5 minutes. And hopefully we can nick something near the end. We've got 2 minutes of injury time to play. Brook for Bolton down the right-hand side. Solomon intercepts or tackles him. Clears it upfield. Shackleton collects it. Hasn't played a lot of football for us. Lewis Cook to Guendouzi in the centre circle. Fite Arp on the left-hand side. Cuts inside. Does the German. Goes for goal. Blasts it into the bottom corner. We have just about beaten Bolton Wanderers in the FA Cup. I'm not particularly happy, but I'll take it. Well, that was a bit of a let-off, but we've managed to do it. A 93rd minute winner from Fite Arp. We were not very good. Let's shout at the players, shall we? Aggressively. Got some things to work on. I have just realised I completely forgot to tell you about the fixtures that took place in between episodes in January. January's been good for us so far, undefeated. We've only conceded once. We beat Fulham 2-0, Maguire and Lopez-Bays. We beat Sheffield United, Christ Chole. We beat Everton, Franco Di Matteo. We battered Arsenal, and I don't know how it happened. The 92nd, 94th and 96th minute goals. Lopez-Bays opened the scoring 1 minute into the second half. Lewis Cook, Johnny Santos and Fite Arp all scoring after the 90. Don't know how it happened. Against Spurs, in the return leg from the 5-0 battering, we drew 1-1. It's a much better performance. And then we've just seen that. We've just played Bolton. Let's move on now, straight to the West Ham game. We are back then for the main event of the episode, West Ham United at the London Stadium. We haven't done any transfers in between the Bolton match and this match, so there's nothing to update you on. The starting lineup we will be going for then. In goal will be Adnan, a back four of Johnny Santos, Fernando Zelaya, Munoz and Helinho. Lewis Cook will be the deep-lying playmaker. Restrepo and Guendouzi will be the two central midfielders today. Christ Chole has been real bad recently, like real bad, which is why I'm not massively keen on playing him at the moment, which is why Guendouzi is going to be getting a start. Lopez Bays and Almada will be the two wingers. Franco Di Matteo will be our striker. He is our top goal scorer, which makes quite a lot of sense. On the bench, we've got Wang, Big Dids, Chole, Bernal, Maguire, Arp, and Romero. That is a very attacking subs bench. Chole, Bernal, Arp, and Romero. Yeah, that's a strong bench. Two former Newcastle boys then in the West Ham side. Oliver Batista-Meyer on that left wing. On the subs bench, Tosin is also there. They've literally just signed him. I don't know whether it's on like a permanent deal or a loan. It's a permanent deal. They've literally just signed him. He has jumped around. He has definitely jumped around since we've sold him to Chelsea. As we are now playing, in theory, our best 11, or as close to our best 11 as we can, we should do a lot better against Bolton. Bolton, we played a bunch of children. That was my reasoning. I was going to say excuse. That was my reasoning for us not doing so well. Well, if it stays this way, we do hit that magical 40-point mark, which means relegation is going to be very difficult. There is a throw for Johnny Santos. Franco Di Matteo collects it back to Santos again. Crosses in towards the back post. Lopez Bays collects it from Koopmeiner's clearance. Almada is there. Thiago Almada, his fourth goal of the season. 22 minutes on the clock. We are in front at the London Stadium, in front against West Ham. We're going to be moving up to potentially fourth in the table with that goal. Raya's goal kick. Is it Raya or Raya? The former Blackburn man, if I'm not mistaken. Diop collects it. Now, Malambi on that right-hand side for West Ham. Keeps going down the wing. Thiago Almada steals it away. Guendouzi plays it over the top. Helinho nods it down to the goal scorer. Thiago Almada keeps going forward. Almada goes for goal. David Raya can easily hold on to that effort. If you're wondering, by the way, where Marlon Charles is, he's out injured for like 2-3 months, which is not a good thing, but we've got Helinho, so it's fine. Throw for West Ham on the right-hand side. Obispo? Sure. Never heard of that man's name. Diaz collects it. Brahim Diaz, if I'm not mistaken, runs into the area. Of course, it's a penalty. Of course, because this game gives away so many penalties at the moment, and I don't really know what's happening. Adnan loves to save them, though, doesn't he? Don't you, Adnan? Please save this one. Piatek steps up against Adnan, dives the wrong way. It is 1-1. It is going to be 1-1 going into half-time. We concede far too many penalties. It is 1-1 at half-time, and looking at the match stats, this has been extremely dull. Like, extremely dull. You're getting an aggressive shouting at, because we've had 3 shots. 3 shots. They've had 2. We've scored 1 each. Just seen Di Matteo's on a 6.4. Maybe, before we go too much further into the second half, we do a change. Who do we go for here? What do we do? We've got Bernal, who is a striker. We've got Romero, who is a striker. We've got Arp, who can also play as a winger. I'm going to give Romero a chance. He's not played for us just yet. He's good. Can't finish. He can't finish, which is probably a concern when you're looking for a goal. But we're going to give him a try. 60 minutes on the clock. Zelaya has picked up a yellow card. There is a free kick for West Ham just outside the area. He's going to score because he's a former Newcastle player, and I was not mistaken. Oliver Batista-Meyer makes it 2-1 to West Ham. I'm pretty sure he scores 2 goals a season, and they're both against me. Right, I'm going to give him a demand more. There's a goal kick for West Ham. Raya towards Batista-Meyer. Bola back to Duffy. Now Batista-Meyer in the centre can cut inside. Keeps going, plays it across to Obispo. Still can't say that name. Don't know how to pronounce it. Not a clue. Guidara runs into the area. He's going to give away a penalty. He's not going to give away a penalty. Malambi with a 3rd goal for West Ham. We are not actually getting battered. We're just not doing anything. West Ham have had 3 shots and scored all 3 of them. Okay, they've had 4 shots, but they've had 3 on target. Has our goalkeeper turned up? I don't know. Raya with a free kick. We've got 15 minutes to try and score at least 2 goals. Batista-Meyer collects it, runs around his man like he's not even there, dodges a tackle. It's another penalty. Of course it is. Of course it's a penalty. What is happening with this game? What is actually going on? Piatek once again steps up. Adnan dives the right way this time and does make a save. It's going to be a corner. We are going to get nothing from this game. I can't even give them a shout. I've just given them one recently. Batista-Meyer steps up with a corner. Diop is there. Adnan comes out, claims the ball confidently. Is he going to counter-attack? No, he's not. 8 minutes of normal time left. Diaz to Guidara. Number 2 runs down the right-hand side, crosses in. Helinho heads clear. Obispo, still not sure. Bola on the volley goes for goal, but hits it over the bar. We've done nothing, despite the fact that we've had 10 shots. I haven't seen any of them apart from the goal we scored. Well, that was awful. That was absolutely awful. Hey, you know everybody? Do you like training? Because you're going to be doing some more training because we're coming in tomorrow. Well, that episode was a bit of a mess, wasn't it? We've managed to beat Bolton, just about. We've got battered by West Ham, and I don't quite understand how we've managed to do that. The transfer window is still open. What I'm going to do in this episode, I'm going to go to the end of the transfer window. I'm not expecting any more business to be coming into the club. Maybe somebody will leave, but I'm not quite sure with that one. Looking at the league table, as you can see there, 7th place in the table, 39 points on the board. We are basically just going to finish mid-table this year, aren't we? We do still have the Europa League to worry about. So what we're going to do next episode, I know we're not done this one, but next episode will be Schalke and Aston Villa. That's the plan. We've also got, if I'm not mistaken, it should be Bournemouth, because I think Bournemouth won on penalties in the next round of the FA Cup. It is the 1st of February, it is 11 PM in the evening. The transfer window is now closed. We've done one more bit of business, and it's literally something I said we weren't going to do earlier on in the episode. Gregory Bernal, the guy who was out on loan at Montreal Impact last season, has returned from the MLS. He's played one game for us and then gone back out on loan. He's now joined Hertha Berlin until the end of the season. They're paying all of his wages. So I think, hopefully, him getting a decent amount of football in a Bundesliga side will be very helpful for him. That is going to do it then for this episode. Next episode, as I've already mentioned, will be Schalke and will be Aston Villa. The Schalke game obviously will be the main event. Hopefully, in between episodes against Chelsea, Wolves, and obviously the first leg against Schalke, we can do all right. I'd like to get one win in the league, and ideally away from home, let's score a goal. That's all I'm after. Maybe don't lose 4-1 though.